This is Terry Kohler. See his ashes coming out of the shells here? This is the eternal resting spot of Terry Kohler. He lived in, where did he live at, Dad?
He lived in College Hill.
Lived in College Hill. But anyway, so they took his ashes, put them in these shells.
For a long time.
And they shot him out at the gun range in remembrance of him. But then so these are dummy shells. They're not loaded, but still his ashes are in here. And the rest of them is in a white box down here. His own kids didn't want him, so someone brought him here. So now this is the eternal resting spot of Terry Kohler. I don't think you'll see that in any other barbershop. So that's something unique about it.
I wanted to become a teacher, and then so I So I took and started this, and I liked it so well that I decided to stay a barber. Well, like I said, it's a very diversified thing, and you learn a lot of things. It's like going to school. So if I got a question, he can answer for me if I want to answer what he did, you know. And it's an art, you know, make people look good. Like Trent always says, this is the best you look today.
We've been working together for almost over 30 years together, and it's been great. I mean, how you say I worked with my dad for 30 years, and I'll tell you, probably about 98% of the time we get along. It's that 2% when we butt heads and, you know, go at it a little bit. But it's been really great. I mean, I wouldn't change a thing. I love working with my dad.
But he does great. He's got a good customer base, a great customer base.
When I got out of barber school, that was a wall right there. I cut that wall out and I built that station back there because that's where I was going to be, because these chairs were full. But the styles, they really haven't changed that much. You know, people, they just get their haircuts, and a lot of people get the same cut for the whole time I've known them.
Right. I had a guy he's retired now, but he used to come every 2 weeks. He come from Lexington to get a haircut.
Oh, we've had multiple TV personalities come in. Probably the most famous for local is Walt Mayer. Walt Mayer used to get his haircut all the time. Did you ever hear Walt Mayer? Oh my God, he was a local legend for WCPO radio and TV. Did news and sports and everything. Started off on the radio and then went to TV. Actually, he could have went big. He was asked to go national, but his wife loved this area so much she didn't want to move.
Yeah,
she didn't want to move. So, but yeah, Walt Mayer was. He'd come in and tell us all stories about the Reds and everything in the locker, you know, because he's in there all the time. He'd tell us about the Reds and Bengals and all the other stuff. We heard some great stories. Well, the basketball is signed by Paul Cluxon, who used to have the record in all of basketball for the most consecutive free throws in games. He went 98 out of 98. And then the other football is signed by a bunch of Colerain kids. I forget what year that was, but it was a playoff run year. And then we got signed by a bunch of Colerain kids. North, West, Winton, Woods, Elder, Colerain, LaSalle, St. James, Roger Bacon, St. X.
That's Wiley. He's plays for the
Green Bay Packers right now.
Green Bay Packers now.
You'll never see, you can't see them, but we actually have Archbishop Schur and Bishop Binzer, the autographed picture with the Pope. You won't see that in any other spot, any church or anywhere. An autographed picture. He was Dad's paper boy before he did all that. But it's hard to see, they're fading, but there are signatures up there, and you'll never see it anywhere else. So we've been broken into a few times over the years here, and one of the funniest stories is, so the guy actually cut a hole in the wall back here and came into that little storage area on the side, okay, and stole our clippers and stuff and gumball machines. So here's the funny story about it was, this guy used to work at Grippo's across the street. And so he left the window open so he could crawl in, and he stole the recipe for the chips. Okay, potato, oil, salt, you know, and he left a note in there saying, if you want the recipe back, put, I think it was like $10,000 and take it up to Blue Rock Park here, put it in a bucket and walk away. Okay, so the police, they did a fake drop. They went there and they put money in there. He's in the woods. He's pulling the bucket into the woods, and they came in and got him. So he's known as the Grippo Bandit. But he broke into our shop too, and when they went to his house to get him, they found our clippers and everything in there. That's one of the funniest stories.
I remodeled this in my whole shop, yeah. Designed this in my whole shop. And this has been the same way for how many years?
since I was 6 years old.
Since
We
I
haven't
started
changed a
it.
thing. I haven't changed a thing. What was wild was when me and my brother were kids, when Dad bought this place, brought us in here, and this was like another room right here, because it was a house, a 3-bedroom house. So when we were kids, we each had we were in here hitting the walls and knocking the walls down. So I grew up in this place too. So his first one was on Galbraith, and then where AutoZone is up here, right across from China Chef. There used to be a building. Used to be Carter's Restaurant.
I was up there for 12 years.
So you had Carter's Restaurant and you had that bank. I forget the name of the bank, but in between there was like a triangular building, and his first shop was right there, and it was pretty neat. I remember it as a kid going up there all the time, you know, and so after, like you said, he wanted a parking lot, so he bought this and moved down here. But his first shop up there, yeah, China Chef was Daily Donuts. You had Carter's Restaurant. Oh my God, the changes on Colerain Avenue was just unreal. You had Red Barn, you had Godfather's Pizza, you had all this stuff, and it's all gone.
I had Kentucky Fried Chicken almost every day. They gave me free chicken next door.
He'd walk over and just get all the food he wanted. A lot of people don't realize Shakey's Pizza right here next door.
Oh my God, it was something
You remember
Shakey's?
Yeah.
Stoley's is great.
Oh, the plate lunches from Stoley's. They were great.
Now I got divorced. I raised my 2 kids.
We ate there all the time.
I raised my 2 kids. Since they were 7 and 11?
6 and 10 or,
Yeah,
or
7,
no.
7 and 11. I got divorced and raised my 2 kids.
There's 3 years.
And then I'd go get lunches at Stoley's and take it home from supper for them.
We lived on Skyline and Stoley's. Yeah, this place will always be Ray's. It was known as Ray's, and I will never ever change the name. No, definitely not. One of the cool things about working here is we'll get a father and son come in. They're getting their hair cut by father and son. You know, he's cut probably about five, maybe even 6 generations of, you know, this kid and down the line. I'm on, like, I got customers now 3 generations in that I'm cutting. That I've cut. I'm like, yeah, I cut your daddy's first haircut. You know, he says that I cut your grandpa's first haircut. So that's kind of neat right there. That, you know, generations keep coming. They bring their kids in, and that means a lot.